I made two 700 performance points setups on two sets of tires, Sports Soft and Racing Soft, for the R35 GTR. And here they are. Settings. Suspension, aerodynamics, differential, and modifications. This car actually has a brake bias that goes far enough to the back, and actually have it tuned to be more forward because it's too far back. But it's nice that it actually goes that far back because it actually will oversteer. However, the rear anti-roll is still not stiff enough, just like pretty much every other car. It's really difficult to control the slides, so I run stiffer spring rates. So there's a point in which the rear spring rate gets too stiff and it's very throttle sensitive. And then just adjusting it a little bit further and further softer makes the car, it gets to a point where it becomes drivable with stiff rear springs. And that's the point that I have this car at, where it's the rear spring is compensating for the lack of anti-roll stiffness in the back. But it's drivable. Big slides are very bad, just like every other car. But I mean, it's very difficult to drive, or very difficult to recover from big slides without counter steer assist, basically in any car. But yeah, like I said, this is drivable. Has some aerodynamic understeer. Has pretty good grip on throttle on exits because of the aerodynamic understeer. Braking a little bit early here. Oh, a little too fast. Nice rotation on the brakes. Too much throttle. Catchable. It'll actually snap oversteer in certain conditions on the brakes, with high steering lock and slow speeds. Nice and grippy through this high-speed section. Brake just before the 100. Trail brake into the apex. Throttle out. I think I have to lift here. Yeah. It's drivable with a little bit more aerodynamic oversteer, but I think a little bit more stability is preferred, for me anyway. Once the aerodynamics kick in, you can basically floor the throttle. 208, it's not very good. I wasn't driving very fast. I can get in the 206s. I should probably do whatever. I don't want to do that right now. Do a 206. I think the Porsche, maybe even the, I don't know, I forget what the R32 was getting, but the Porsche definitely got, was it 207s on the sports tires. And now the racing 700 performance point settings. Tires, suspension, differential, aerodynamics, and modifications. Racing brakes, racing pads, brake controller set to 5 in the front rather than 5 in the rear. And I just maxed out the spring rates. I noticed with the actual race cars, group 3 cars in particular, the performance range is in the 4 Hertz range instead of the 3 Hertz range for racing tires. And so with tuned cars, if the maximum is at like where this is, about 3.5 or somewhere in the middle of in the 3 range, then it's best to just max out the springs. And that's basically that. Oh, this car also didn't mention in the beginning of the video. It's has got the wide body and wide rims and the wide offset as well. And these are the ballast things. I think I already showed on the setup page. Just pause it if you need to copy those over. And drive in this one now. So I don't know the speeds for the corners. I was just driving the other car, or the other setup for the same car. A little bit early on the brakes. It's got tons of stability. Whoa, don't want to take that curve too much. I've actually been pitched off the track by that curb on the left-hander. Nice rotation on the brakes, a little too much actually. Taking it easy. Also, both of the setups are not optimized for peak performance at 700 performance points. They're just tuned for comfortable driving. Could probably optimize a little bit more understeer into the setup to get more horsepower or less ballast. This is flat out. Oh, nope, maybe not. Okay. Not flat out. These are either taken in second or third. I don't really know which one to use. With maxed out settings, this could be a pretty fast car. And it's all-wheel drive, so it's real easy to slide around and all that. And it's also especially really easy to drive with the controller and counter steer assist. You can make the car really oversteery, and it's drivable with the counter steer assist. Anyway, I forgot to record the gearing in my first draft of the video, so I'm going to show the gearing here now at the end of the video. And for both the racing soft tire and sports soft tire, it's the same gearing. Of course, it could be optimized for, the gearing is specifically optimized for the racing soft horsepower, which is more horsepower than, the racing soft. The sports soft horsepower, which is more than the racing soft tire setup. But it could be optimized for the racing soft tire, but I'm just using the same gearing because it works for my level of performance. I'm not trying to get every tenth out of the car. So anyway, this is the gearing. Till the next one.